Welcome to Headhunterka podcast, a podcast where we'll go beyond the CV and into the real story behind some of the most fascinating professionals in tax and tax technology. I'm your host, Isabella, and today I am joined by a special guest. His name is Jacek Szufan, or we can call him Jack Szufan. I don't know. He will need to tell us what is the best pronunciation. And today, we are not just going to talk about VAT codes and automation platforms. We are going to explore the full picture, the picture of someone who is the strategist, the innovator, the father, and the human being behind all that expertise. Welcome, Jacek, again.
Wow. Well, thank you. I have to say I wasn't expecting an introduction like that, to be honest. But thank you. It's great to be here, and I'm really, really happy to be here and be able to have this conversation with you, Isabella. Part of me wanted to say, who cancelled? Who cancelled that I'm here?
Well,
who cancelled?
I've been waiting for you for quite a long time, as you know. Well, I haven't finished with that introduction as yet, because I would like to bring maybe some quotes of people who highly recommend Jacek and his work. So let me tell you what people say about Jacek. Jacek is a senior tax professional with a rare, if not unique, mix of skills, ranging from technical tax expertise to tax technology to presentation skills. Jacek is true foundation of our indirect tax capability. He's incredibly knowledgeable and an absolute pleasure to work with. I've got so many more different recommendations I could bring, so I'm so pleased you are here. Thank you.
Thank you again. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have an idea who may have said this or said those things. I hope they are all true. I'd like to think they're all true, but yeah, it's just really, really interesting to hear someone read it out loud. Because it doesn't quite sound the same when I read those recommendations out, if I ever come across those, to be honest.
You're welcome. Hope you enjoy that.
Very much for once, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to all these words, and I might grow taller. Which could come in quite handy, to be honest.
You never know. We'll happen by the end of this episode. So I want to start with a question that I ask everyone because the answer is always different. And this is to start with in your case, 17 years in operations, product and strategy. What is one moment that generally changed everything for you? Straight away.
Wow, okay, we're diving into the deep end, are we? Okay, right. Well, I should have prepared some notes had I known this kind of question is going to come up, but wow, okay. I think I need to give myself a second to take myself back through my career. I think one moment like that for me was when I'm not going to say where and how, I'm simply going to say when I was sort of put in a position where I had to make decisions that I previously didn't have to make. And I had to work with many people who I had never worked before. And those people kept changing, and it was just a very, very challenging time in my career. I would say there was a lot of things that I needed to consider, to remember, very quickly learn how to talk to different people, because I think that was one of the key things. Because different people were coming from different backgrounds, they needed to understand different things, or they cared about different things as well. So for me, it was a point in my career when I had to learn very, very fast. I had to adapt very, very fast. And I had to really think on my feet. And I also I have to admit, I felt a bit of a burden from colleagues that I worked with and a lot of people who were sort of thinking about me as, well, you have to kind of make things work. You have to help us through this time. You have to help us to see the other side of a particular moment or a period in time. And I think that was also quite challenging because it felt very difficult to bring these two things together. Expectations of people who make the decisions and who require me to think in a specific way, but also expectation of the people who I work with, who I'm connected with, some of them who I'm close with, and who kind of really, ask me things, ask specific things of me to try and make their work easier, more effective, more efficient. And sometimes, those things don't quite come together as you'd like them to.
Yes. So we'll go into this, and I appreciate it was quite a heavy start question.
It's fine. That's fine. No, this is what we're here for. I mean, if we talked about the weather, it wouldn't quite.
But it really shows that Jacek is not didn't know what questions I will ask, and there are more questions coming.
No, I'm sure there are. Okay, I said, okay, this is going to be a nice chat. Here I am, and I'm sweating already. It's like, wow, it's only question number one.
It's only get easier.
Oh, great. Okay, let's see. Let me be the judge of that, Isabella. Okay, I'll be the judge of that.
Well, now I want to take a step back because before all of this, what you started to talk about, your work, your position, you've made a very big decision in your life when you decided to relocate to the UK, and it was 2006.
20 years this year, yeah, in May.
Was it? Well, congratulations!
No, you're quite young.
Anniversary.
Big, it's a huge anniversary. I think.
What shall we do?
What shall we do? I mean, I don't know. 20 for 20, 20 shots for 20 years. I think we'll have to be carried home after that, though. I don't know.
Okay, so what actually happened? Tell us the story. How did it happen? Why did you come here?
Wow. I think I would like to say that we should probably go back a little bit, but I don't want to go too far back.
Jacek was born in...
No. Dinosaurs didn't walk planet Earth. No, none of these things. No. I think here we're just kind of have to go back a little bit. I've always been very close to the English language. I've always had some kind of interaction with English from my very, very early years. Now, my dad, surprisingly, one day just very briefly came back home. I was about 6, 7 maybe, and he brought this package, this thing. I didn't know what it was. I thought, did it fall out of the back of a lorry or something like this? But he just kind of presented it to me and said, "Here." Okay, I opened it. I looked at it, and those were like English language books with cassettes, etc. Now, let's keep in mind that this was late 1980s, huge geopolitical changes in Eastern Europe, incredible political changes in Poland at that time. So it was very, very unusual for something like this to happen. And, the school system was still very much, you will learn Russian and all these kind of things. But I think my father kind of decided, no, we're going to look at in a different direction. So I picked it up. I didn't really know what it was. I put my little Walkman on, put my headphones on, and kind of started listening and learning. And then as we went further, school teachers picked up on it. They started asking me to do different things. I got some additional help. They spotted that I had some kind of ability in this area, so they encouraged me a lot more. And then as I went through high school, university, it kind of continued. And then people started to encourage me, maybe, you can go, you can explore. This obviously coincided with Poland's accession to the EU. Obviously, at that point, UK was still a member. So obviously now times are a little bit different. So it was a little bit easier to travel. And I had someone at that point in my life who was also encouraging me to come to the UK and just give it a go. I wasn't, apart from my family and a job in a sort of family business, I wasn't really leaving much behind. So I just thought, why not?
Spontaneous decision.
It wasn't really a spontaneous decision. It was kind of if I don't do this now, I probably will not get a chance again. And it proved to be true a little bit later on, because we all have life events and situations. And I'm pretty sure that had I not left at that point in time, I probably would not have left at all.
That reminds me, when I work with some candidates who need to relocate to another jurisdiction, another country, we have those kind of conversations. And then I say to them, you have to think about, if not now, when?
True. No, but this is very true. And this is really true. I think having been in that position, in that situation, it really is a very difficult thing to do. And, I don't want to be like, oh, poor me, etc. But, I didn't have a lot of money coming here to this country. I had to find a job very, very quickly in order to be able to support myself. Luckily, at that point in time, things were a little bit different from, economical point of view here in the UK. So hospitality was booming. There was a lot of jobs, lots of openings. So I started in hospitality.
What was your first job?
I worked in a bar / restaurant, as front of house.
Can you make cocktails?
It wasn't that kind of establishment, to be honest. No. It was a bar / restaurant on the Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight, wonderful owners, I have to say. They could have done a lot of things, but they were very fair. They were
You
very
can say hello to them. They might be voting on
yes.
BBC.
Yeah, absolutely.
podcast
Carl,
in the future.
here they go. Hope you're okay and well. No, but very good people. They treated me really well. They helped me. I had a very funny situation during the interview, if I can, very quickly. I remember we were talking and Carl said to me, bear with me. Now, I didn't know, obviously, idioms are quite difficult things in English, so you don't really know something.
You're thinking about a bear.
Absolutely. No, I was thinking, bear with me. So I had to bear with me. I kind of said, okay, with me. And he got up and he started moving. So I decided I'm going to follow him. So he's looking at me awkwardly as I follow him behind the bar, behind the front of the house. He continues to look at me, and I can feel in my body something's not right. Something's not right. So at that point in time, I just think, okay, something's not right. So he's looking around, we chatted, and we shook hands at the end. I went home, and I ran home because something. So in my head is bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. I get home, I open the dictionary, I look at the idiom, and my heart sank. I just, oh my God, I was supposed to sit in place and wait. And I thought, right, this guy's never calling me back. And about half a day later, he called me back, said, do you want to come in and do a trial shift? Let's see what happens. So I did. And then I worked there for about 6 months, 1 season before I kind of moved on to Brighton, where, I've been ever since.
Brilliant. It's a great story. I will always remember this.
For someone who was experiencing it, I'm not sure it was a great story, to be honest, but it was, it was a great time. I met a lot of people. There were good things about being there. There were bad things about being there. But yeah, overall, I think it was a great experience, which I really needed, I think.
Yes, I wanted actually to ask you a question regarding the first kind of impression when you arrived to the UK. Was it any kind of culture shock, you may think?
Big one.
Big one. Bear with me?
Part of bear with me, it was a big culture shock. It was a very, very big culture shock. I think the biggest change was in how people interacted with each other. I come from a country where everything is very formal.
Yes.
Mr., Miss, Mrs. You don't address people by their first names.
We come from the same country.
I know. So this was...
And it is how we started to speak to each other. You remember?
Yes, absolutely. I remember.
It wasn't by name, not by first name.
No.
We'll get this well.
But it's just very different. I was quite shocked by that, to be honest. How people very quickly build relationships and engage in friendships, and how quickly it was, first name terms, and how easy that was. And people were some people were friendly, some people not so much. I think, I don't want to get political or anything, but, not all people were welcoming, let's just put it that way. So in many ways, it was nice. In some ways, it wasn't pleasant at all. Right.
Okay. But how are you feeling right now?
It took us 20 years later, I feel like I have roots here. I think the biggest change, and I've heard from many other people who have moved to different countries, is when you say I'm going home, you mean the place where you are right now, not the place where you were born, where you lived, where you had roots during however many years of your life. But it's when you say I'm going home and you think of the place where you are right now. I think that's the change. So I feel like I am at home here.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah. I can say the same. I think it's a number of years when you actually settle down in one place. You've got your family, and this is when you start to feel, yes, that's my home. So I will ask quite a deep question in a way in connection to this.
We continue it on this path, okay? Okay.
It's not about tax yet.
Okay, thank God. I hope there's no questions about tax. See, no, people will turn away. They're still watching.
Because, yes, we started to talk about this, that now you can say England, the UK is your home. So can you actually say that you found your place on earth? This is your place?
Oh, goodness me. Wow.
Yeah.
This is...
a special one for you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. This is a very loaded question, and it's a question that's not necessarily an easy one to answer.
I know.
I think I'm a lot more peaceful in myself in terms of where I am, how I am, and what do I represent, the morals, the ethics, the integrity, all these sort of things. Can I honestly say that I found my place 100% on this earth? I don't think I can. I don't think anyone can. I think if I get to a point in my life, when I'm sitting down in a rocking chair somewhere and the joints are hurting a bit more than they are now, and I'm a bit older, I think I'll be able to look back and say, did I really find my place? I think at the moment I'd say I found some of it. Maybe I'm still looking for the other part of it. But, I'm happy with the way my life is and where I am in my life and what's happening. So, I always say, right now, I hope that as long as everyone is healthy, me, my family, the people I care about, everybody else that I know, I think that's the best place you can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great answer. Thank you very much. So I want to talk about something we don't really discuss that often regarding parenthood in particular, because very often we talk about women becoming mothers and, the fact that they have to sacrifice work. There's a lot of conversations around that, but very rarely we really touch on a subject when actually men become fathers. And I think this is a very good topic to touch upon because you are a perfect example. I know for a fact, because we've known each other for a long time, you've got your young family now. And I appreciate that having a young family, you also need to make certain sacrifices in your professional life. Tell us more about this. How did it impact your professional life, if it did?
The really easy questions continue, don't they? Really, thank you. I think, well, and again, another loaded question, but let's see what I can do here. I think, no, don't. I think this is what we're here for again. It does change you. I think for me, I can't speak of everyone, I can speak about myself. It was very confronting. It was definitely very confronting in terms of how I see myself in the context of me, my kids, my partner, the wider world. And how did it change my career? I think, when my kids were born, I think I really wanted to be there. And I think I was getting to a point in my career where there were different opportunities coming up, and some of these opportunities meant not being there.
I know, and I can apologize for disturbing you here. I would like to point out at one thing, because when we started to work together, Jacek was my client for many years. And then after he left a very long-term career at a certain organization, we started to talk again from a different perspective. And I just wanted to mention that Jacek had amazing 2 offers. I will not say where from, but you remember the situation.
Yeah, I do.
And I also remember at the time you were prioritizing your family. I remember this very clearly. And I very much admire you for your decision. So that's why I asked that question, because I remember the situation very, very well.
I do as well. Trust me when I say I do as well.
Obviously, because I lost the deal, but
No, for sure. Well, I don't think any kind of dinners will make
it against you. Don't worry.
No, that's why I'm here. Okay.
Well, friends again.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, please continue. Tell us about your current situation. How you feel about this? How did you manage to be where you are at the moment? Also holding a very higher position, being director in another organization, and still being full-time father in a way. Yes.
I think it's first and foremost, it's for me. Like again, I'll speak from my point of view. It's a case of choice. It's a case of choice, and for me, it was a very, very clear choice. I wanted to be there for my kids. I think there are years when your kids are like, Dad, come do this, Dad, come do that, and there are years your kid, Dad, can you just, some cash maybe, and then go away. And I think I'm not quite at those years yet when my kids are kind of saying, you know what, that we need you to support us, but in different ways. Right now, I think my kids really want me to support them in very specific ways, and I see how happy they are when I'm there. And I see it's really important for them, and it's really important for me as well.
Absolutely. That's great. Okay, so let's shift gears a little here. I want to get to know Jacek, that different Jacek that doesn't appear on LinkedIn, someone outside of this professional world.
Okay.
Yes. Is there something you could tell us, reveal, little secret maybe about what you're like outside? Okay, let's shift gears a little. I want to get to know the Jacek that doesn't appear on the LinkedIn profile. So, what's one thing that people who know you professionally would be genuinely surprised to learn about you?
This might sound surprising, but that I don't talk very much. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
That's one thing. If someone asked me the first thing about how I would describe Jacek likes to have his chat.
Do I?
Yes.
Okay, right. Point to self. Next phone call with you. Keep it short. Okay.
You are a chatty Merv, and I'm saying this in a very positive way.
There are people that will disagree with you very strongly.
But that's, well, let me have my own opinion about this. I know, because every time when we speak, we kind of always run out of time. Obviously, there's so much to talk about with you. And, with some people, it's just very difficult to make a conversation. So I could say, well done. I absolutely love that.
Well, thank you. I think I try. Sometimes it's quite difficult, and I think this is especially visible in kind of the professional versus home dynamic, especially when you're in work, and to a certain extent, your job is to talk to product, to operations, to delivery, to the C-suite of people, and talk and explain and deliver and all these things. So after 6, 7, 8, however many hours of talking, all you want to do is really not to talk. And I think that can be quite challenging, particularly in the sort of in the home dynamic. When you finish and your kids want to talk to you and your partner wants to talk to you, and you're kind of spent your letters or words for the day, sometimes it just can be quite tricky. And I know that I need to do better in that area. It's something I'm really working on.
Great, thank you. So now let's talk a little bit more about your career again, and especially maybe about the current situation, which might be interesting for many young tax and tax technology professionals to learn. So, what trend in indirect tax technology do you believe will reshape the industry in the next 5 years, for example?
Goodness me.
I know. Let's go this route.
Wow,
I was switching.
every conference, every article,
I know.
Every note.
That's why I'm doing this podcast, not to ask those questions. But some people say, look, you need to ask some questions about tax and tax technology. Okay. It's not a job interview.
I think, even if it was, I'd say the same things. It's because it is only really a couple of items to look out for. I think obviously we have VIDA, we have e-invoicing. These things will really shape how the tax profession looks like and what people do and how they do things. Artificial intelligence is the next one. We see growth in this area. There are some companies in the market at the moment. A lot of them are sort of not early stage. They're sort of late startup stage, maybe mid startup stage, but they're doing some incredible work with AI on the tax engine front, on not quite yet with compliance specifically, but on the tax engine fronts, on looking for information, looking things up, specific partnership that have come up in the market that really leverage data and information. Because really, when we talk about artificial intelligence, a lot of the time, it's not so much the large language models and how models are trained, it's the data on which those models are trained on. And I think currently, businesses, companies, organizations that hold that data, they really have an incredible advantage over everybody else in the market. I see a lot of people going in the direction of really trying to get on with building something. And I think a lot of the times, well, let's just build. But what are we building? Why are we building it? And so on. I think really e-invoicing is really going to shape the way we work, how things are done. All the sort of, live reporting, etc. This is going to really change how compliance is done. We are going to go from the role of controllers, reviewers, to pretty much the role of auditors, of people who check if things are as they should be, and really looking out for not the 80% of transactions, but the 20% of transactions who are the real exceptions, the real challenges for businesses. And there's going to be a lot of changes in terms of, let's say, employees who are coming into this market space. Historically, data wasn't necessarily such a big part of tax. We see data being pretty much the forefront at the moment, and specific skill sets that require people to work with data, to understand that data, to interpret that data, to deliver results based on that data, information. Those are, I think, the key things that will shape the tax profession, the professionals themselves, and how they work, not just within businesses, but with tax authorities, with other stakeholders in a sort of tax compliance process.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So for tax professionals wanting to move into technology or product roles, what is the most powerful first step they should take, you think?
There's quite a few of them. I think everyone coming in this area will have a different perspective. So data skills are key, I think, currently, specifically for entry-level roles and sort of junior and manager level roles. I think data skills are really, really key. It's really important to have very good base knowledge of a specific discipline, particularly let's take indirect tax, VAT, really good knowledge of the key rules, how they work, what they mean, what's the impact, how companies need to be able to stay on top of them and control them. And I really do hope that one day my time will come as a generalist, where generalists will really be in high demand, because a lot of the deep work will be done even more by technology. So there will have to be a lot more people who will be able to connect a lot of the dots between the market, sales, marketing, delivery, operations, all this, who will be able to put all of this together. And I do think that this is a key area. We see a lot of senior indirect tax professions going into tax software houses, acting as independent consultants to help those businesses develop their products, services, shape them, help businesses understand why they should work in specific manners. So it really is quite incredibly, I think for me, it's quite incredibly, I won't say comforting, but it's incredibly good to see that there's so many different avenues for people in this particular area to go into. You want to be in product, you can go into product. You want to be in compliance, you can go into compliance. You want to be in advice, you can go into advice. Whereas historically, you want to be in data, you can go in data within tax. Whereas historically, we pretty much had two tracks: compliance, advisory. And that was it. Those were the options. So it's great to see that this is finally opening up, and it's allowing for people to really find their space within the market, within the indirect tax compliance advisory software market, because it's really opened up in the last 5-6 years.
Absolutely. So you just called yourself as a generalist.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more. Why you think you're a generalist?
Because I've always worked with different areas of a business. I've always, I started in compliance. I prepared returns, I prepared registrations. I then work with people who prepared those. I supervised those. Then sales pulled me in to do a lot of work with them, whether it's solution architecture, whether it's actually delivering the sales themselves. Then operations kind of called me back to work there. Then I moved into process and procedure development. Then it was a product and shaping those and understanding how they work, helping companies understand their place in the market and what they could consider or should consider as their next steps and why. So I think I've absorbed a lot of things from different areas, and it also puts me in a really unique position to be able to understand what's important for those areas and what are the things that drive their decision making. Because a lot of the time when you work with people, if you don't understand what motivates them, drives them, how they make decisions, what's the key information that allows them to make decisions, it's really difficult to be able to move forward in whatever interaction you have. And I kind of always say, how can we work together against a problem rather than against each other? Is it possible? How can that be done? So for that, I need to understand what, for example, motivates you and how I can work with you to help you achieve your goals.
What motivates me, you think?
Oh, I don't know. You just have to tell me. Isabella, what motivates you?
No, you know me for a while. You should know a little bit.
I think, look, as far as motivation is concerned, you're very ambitious. You're incredibly ambitious. You always have been. You take pride in what you do, and it means a lot to you. I know that it means a lot to you. I wouldn't necessarily say that it defines you, because obviously you are not just the person behind IBH Executive, but there's a lot more to you than that. So, I think you're someone who continuously seeks to grow. And, a little secret to everyone, we had a quick chat before, and Isabella said that she likes to put herself outside of her comfort zone.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons. But that's growth. And really, that's where growth happens, to be honest, outside of our comfort zone for many reasons. We just have to make things work.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, so that's very kind of you. So if you weren't actually in VAT or product innovation area, is there any other profession you would like to do completely outside of tax?
Oh, goodness me. Funny story, I qualified as a personal trainer and nutritionist back in...
I was just about to mention this later.
So that's okay. We're going now, I guess. Yeah,
jumping over my question.
It's quite, actually, I qualified. I did, I think, 4 or 5 months course, then a 2-week residential, tests, exams, all sorts of things. And I was ready. I had a business ready. I had T-shirts printed, business cards ready, everything else. I had the space. I didn't have cups. No, I didn't go that far, to be honest. I didn't think that, back then it was T-shirts and whatever else was available. So I had everything ready, everything ready to go. And funny story, I said that where I was back at that point in time, where I said, if nothing moves, if nothing changes, I'm going to quit and I'm just going to do it. And it's basically how one promotion, one salary increase changed the direction of my life.
Brilliant. You kind of have a plan B in case things didn't work out.
I'm not sure that would be it, to be honest.
No?
I'm not sure that would be it, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know.
We had a plan B.
Everyone should. My plan B,
C and D even sometimes.
Well, this is true. I think I've started a couple of years ago. I was fortunate enough to buy my first house or property, so to speak. I say I bought it. I didn't buy it. The bank bought it for me, to be honest. I have to pay the bank back, as a lot of people have to be honest. It's not quite mine, or it wasn't quite mine. And I sort of took up the gauntlet of renovating that property. I had no idea what I was doing, but thankfully, these days, if you want to find how something works, Google it. Go on YouTube. Look for it, or talk to people, watch people how they do things. And I've learned a lot. I've picked up a lot of different skills. And I think this is also what I'll be trying to teach my kids. It would be great if you could have something where you work with your mind, with your head, but also something where you work with your hands.
Absolutely.
Like a skill that if you for whatever reason cannot do one thing, you can always fall back on something else. And I think that's something that I really would like my kids to take away, to have these kind of different skill sets, that if something happens, we all know life throws curveballs all the time. I think that would be quite a good thing for them to have something here, but also here. I don't know, maybe podcasting, I could try podcasting, maybe I could go on YouTube. Who knows? These days, I think I see a lot of people, okay, they try. And I really admire people who try, who have the drive, the desire to just try, see what happens. Yeah. What's there to lose? I don't think there's much to lose, to be honest.
Many people become what is called the digital creator.
Absolutely.
could be anybody, digital creator. I am digital creator.
Right now you are, yeah, absolutely.
Hello, I'm a digital creator.
Digital creator.
A
Right there.
podcaster.
Podcaster.
Sounds great.
So when is that going? Oh, is that already on your LinkedIn bio, or is it going on at some
I
point?
have to work on this. I think.
Okay, fine. Good.
Yes. So I was going to ask about your, professional certification in sport, and I was very impressed with it. So the first thing which I do before I start to speak to a candidate, for example, in that case, or even a client, I really like to do research about their backgrounds. Always. It's good to know.
Okay.
And just maybe find things in common and just to have a good conversation. But I remember in your case, I was very impressed that you actually went professional route in sports. So I even have a note here, professional nutrition and weight management clinical. My goodness, what a certification to have. This is really something special.
No.
Do you use it in real life? Do you use it on a daily basis, this knowledge? And
I think I look like I use it on a daily. I don't think I do, to be honest. I think back in the day, yes. It's all, life. I think there's no excuse, first and foremost. I think if the best investment, I always said, the best investment we can make is in our own health. This is the number one investment anyone can make anytime, any point. That's it. And I don't necessarily think it's that impressive, to be honest. I think it's just something I did because I wanted to do it for myself. I was already really into let's say, nutrition and exercise before that. I felt it was something I wanted to pursue, just prove it to myself that it's not just a hobby. And also take myself outside of my comfort zone as well. And at that point in time, I think it was really important to me to just go and do it. And I did it, and I was quite happy about it. And yeah, to this date, I think I still use a lot of the things that I've learned there. I exercise, touch wood, here. I haven't really injured myself very badly. So I think I'm doing something right. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, that's for sure. I don't know, the hairline maybe gives it away, to be honest.
Let's not talk about age here.
Okay, fine. We don't discriminate. Let's not discriminate. We're all equal here. I think I think it's just something that I felt was important to me to do at that time, and I did it. I'm happy about it, and it's just I didn't necessarily pursue it in a professional kind of area direction, so to speak. So sometimes I lay there at night and I think, what if? I know this isn't healthy necessarily, but I kind of say to myself, what if? I think, that's human nature. Is just something that I think we all do, to be honest.
Great. So what's a small daily kind of ritual keeps you grounded? What you do for yourself?
I think exercise, again, when I do, I always said you have different types of people. You have the 6 a.m.ers and you have the 6 p.m.ers. So the people who
there
go
is
in the morning,
third one, and I'm the third one,
which is
in between.
Okay.
My prime time for exercise is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Well, some of us can, some of us can't. Isabella,
I know. So please, if I don't answer a phone call, if you call me, I might be doing my special.
I think you may have said too much. Now people know Isabella's definitely not working between 10 and 11, so we're all going to call her.
Prime time for exercise.
So all right, let's call her that time. Let's just give her a call because we know what she's doing. And then now people say, Isabella, you ignored me for exercise. You ignored me for exercise. How dare you?
Well, it's good for mental well-being.
No, absolutely. There's nothing better. It builds that resilience. It builds that resistance. It helps with stress. We could sit here talk about this for hours and hours.
Let's actually dig into this because I'm very interested to hear your thoughts about sport. And nowadays, lots of people are doing weight lifting. Is this any particular sport you would recommend for tax people in tax profession, maybe to release stress sometimes when they are working on deadlines and it's just really things are getting quite, under pressure?
I will say the following. Do whatever you can do consistently, because the number one thing is consistency. If you can be consistent, whether it's walking, running, weightlifting, CrossFit, even CrossFit, yes, I know I'm going to get hate for this, but okay. There are so many different ways to to exercise. But a lot of the time, I think the number one thing is do whatever you will be able to do consistently. That's the number one thing, because we all heard and seen and even been there. New year, new me. First month, everyone's rushing, and then after 2 weeks to a month, people are just, oh, life got the better of me, something else. So I really do think that it's very important to just find something that you're capable and able to do consistently. That's my opinion. What it is, whether it's running, walking, weightlifting, anything else, boxing, swimming, football, basketball, whatever, as long as you can do it consistently and stick to it, that's the best thing you can do.
Great. Thank you.
It's just how I see it, to be honest. So whatever works for people, I think, and what gives you enjoyment, because it shouldn't be a chore.
Absolutely. I agree. So changing the subject slightly and getting a bit lighter.
Okay.
I'd be glad to hear.
Oh, yes, finally.
So if you had to describe your work style as a movie character, who would it be and why?
Goodness me. We said we were going lighter. I'm not sure this is...
It is about movies and a movie character. You must have some kind of hero. Could be Batman.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's roughly...
Spider-Man.
No, I don't think... Yeah, I don't stick to surfaces. I don't think that's not probably... I'm trying to think who could that be, to be honest.
Do you have any favorite movie? Perhaps you like watching or rewatching. I've got this tendency, unfortunately. I've got certain movies which I keep going back to, and I like watching them over and over again. I know it sounds boring maybe for some,
No.
but I absolutely, it's my comfort zone. That's my comfort zone.
Yeah, no, I have the same thing. Like I think, remember growing up watching, I think the number one film for me is going to be cheesy, but it was Rocky. Sylvester Stallone.
I was waiting for that. From you.
That was the number one thing. I think for me, the first time I saw that, wow, what a story is that, and I think really connected with me was the sort of the drive, the perseverance of the story and the character in it. I think that was quite a thing. I wouldn't say I work the same way as Rocky to, fought in I don't shout, I don't, yell, I don't sweat profusely, hopefully anyway. And it's just, it's just a story I think I connected with. But as far as my work style is concerned and how can I connect it to a character, I probably have to think about this a bit longer to be able to answer.
Okay, that's okay. You can think about this. So I can mention maybe something. I was thinking about something funny, what I could actually bring and connect your personality or your story or your professional journey. And I couldn't really find anything that would resonate 100%, but I found something which I think is quite good. So I introduced you as Jacek and Jack.
Okay.
There's one Jack I can think about. And also, it's in one specific movie I keep rewatching. That's one of them. So I apologize to those people who may not like this movie, but I really like Titanic, which is very sad to admit.
I probably, I don't, okay, let me think. Well, Jack, that was Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Yes.
How? It couldn't be further away.
It's a matter of imagination, I would say.
Absolutely.
And it's your name, Jack. Yes,
Yeah.
well, he was Jack in that movie.
That is
You
correct.
remember that?
Of course I remember that. I think I at some point I was forced to watch it and rewatch it as well. I wouldn't say it was not free will. I can say that much. It was not free will. But, I got through it. I think it helped that I think I watched it in the evening most of the time, so I allowed myself a nap.
Okay, it's a very long movie.
I could not be blamed, so at least I got away with it that way, to be honest.
Okay, is there anything in particular you remember from this movie?
Me?
One particular part.
When he dies. No, but honestly, it was like, okay, it's fighting close to the end now. Okay.
No, I know that was quite a sad ending, and they were always asked, the actors were always asked about what would happen if actually Jack survived, and people were always just asking the same question over and over again.
I think there's actually AI clips now of him surviving, actually waking up. I think he was lying on something.
It's like a ball kind of.
Something like this, yeah. So someone made clips AI when he's waking up. I thought it was really funny. It's like, okay, it turns the narrative completely upside down, especially at the end.
Yes. So I would like maybe to kind of say something regarding that particular scene, and I hope it will not sound over dramatic here, but your career actually reminds me of the alternate of Titanic ending we all wish existed.
Okay, I don't know where you're going with this, but continue. Okay, if you want to cook, keep cooking. He's like,
Yes.
Ella, let's see where we're going.
This is the moment when Jack does get on the door and he
Right.
survives. Yeah, so we've got this imagination here. We can remember the freezing ocean, the panic, the chaos, everything. But there is something which I thought could be relevant to your story a little bit, because you left the company after a very long career, and it wasn't maybe the very happy end of that particular profession at the time. You managed to lift yourself up and show everybody what you are capable of, that you can survive really difficult situations, that you can prioritize what is the most important for you in your life, and you can still achieve what you want to achieve in your professional journey. So I think there's something really special about this, that you are the person who shows that you can make it, and you can even make it better, and you can survive anything.
You make it sound very dramatic. I don't think it was half as dramatic as that, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. From my point of view, it was very dramatic. It was very dramatic. You know, it was several years. I thought I'm just going to keep moving. I didn't. And it was just an abrupt ending. And I think a lot of us struggle with abrupt endings, regardless of what it is. It
could be worse, believe me.
No, if you say so. But it was an abrupt ending, and you have a choice. You have a choice. You either stop or you continue to try and find a way. And there's obviously a lot of questions at that point in time. Well, what did I do? What I didn't do, etc. How could I have? How could I not have? And all these things. But I think closure is kind of being able to close a chapter and say that it's truly closed and move on. I think is really, really, really important. And if you can get someone to help answer you the questions that you would like to have answered, I think that's really important. And that's why one of the reasons, and we'll go on to what you do. I don't know if you remember, but I've always tried to provide good feedback for candidates who interviewed with
Always
me.
very constructive feedback.
Because I thought this is so important, because so many times people walk away from interviews and they don't really know what they did. And by the way, who am I to say what they did right or what they did wrong? But at that point, in that context, I think it's just important to give my point of view. Whether someone accepts it or not is a different thing. But I do think that if I can give someone feedback that they can at least consider and decide if they want to act upon it, then I think that's very useful. That's very valuable, because I do feel that people walking away from conversations, whether it's interviews, etc., walking away without feedback can be quite difficult. Not knowing, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What could I improve? How can I improve? And things like these. So I do think that these are, being able to give feedback is really, really important.
I agree, and I remember the times when we used to work together, and it was always so much appreciated and refreshing to receive proper constructive feedback.
It's important. It's really important. I think for me, it's really important. I still do it to this day. If I have a chance to sit with someone and interview them, I still do it to this day, because I really understand how important that is.
That's amazing. So, just like Jack would be on every podcast saying, never let go of your potential. In your case, you are living proof that one brave decision in difficult moment can change everything. So finishing, I have something.
Okay.
Just one
Let's see.
sentence I would like you to say nicely, everybody. Finishing. I said finishing. This is coming from
Okay.
our Jack.
For me, absolutely. So what do you want me to do exactly? What would you like me to do exactly specifically?
I just want you to read it nicely and tell us.
This is true. It's a true statement. So remember, never ever let go of your potential.
Well done.
That's a message to everyone, especially my kids. I don't know. Can I do a shout out to my kids?
You can.
Can I?
Absolutely.
Ida and Gigi, love you very much. And also to my partner who makes everything possible,
Excellent.
which I'm really grateful for.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Well, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you, Jacek. Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it.
And keep going.
We have to.
Keep going.
Do we have a choice? Do we have a
Never
choice?
let go.
We have no choice. We have to keep going. But thank you again for having me here. And, see, I'm breaking equipment.
That's all right. And see you next time.
Cheers.
Thank you.